Assalamu alaikum. This is Narvaw Walla and you are watching me on Narvaw Literary Society. In today's story, I will talk about the millers of Narvaw. My aim of documenting Narvaw is to make it preserved for future generations. And in today's story, it's about water mills. I mean, look at this beautiful idea, how they make usage of water flowing throughout the year. A perennial stream, which is locally known as Mandri Nala. The adequate amount of water resources from the Himalayas melt down throughout the year in the form of trajectories and rush down to meet River Jhelum at Shiri Bridge. Electricity provided by the government of Jammu and Kashmir in this region is limited, so there is not enough usage of electricity, be it mills. Rice and chapati is the staple food used by the people living in the mountains of Kashmir. People come to these water mills for grinding the cereals into flour. It is believed that the hardships and challenges in the natural surroundings are prime motivators of creativity and innovations. These water mills need preservation in order to keep the cultural heritage alive in this region of Kashmir. Water mills in Kashmir are called as gruts. The water mills are constructed by mud and stones, a locally available material. The flour grinded at the local water mills acquired longer keeping quality and more nutrition in comparison with the electricity-run mills. Here the water energy is converted into mechanical energy. It was known to humans since long.
Basically, when we talk about the traditional heritage mills or flour mills of Narvaw, we are having different streams here like Mandri Nala, Rani Nala and other streams, and there are offshoots of canals which provide us a source of energy to run these flour mills which are run on water. Our ancestors don't have the modern machinery available to grind the rice and corn, so we use these mills to have our flour ready fast. And right now we have several mills in Baramulla area and in Malpura, Aurora. We have locations of residential localities established or located on the banks of these streams, and we have several flour mills available right now which are running still. And these mills are basically our traditional mills, and we need to preserve them for future generations. As you know that in other countries people preserve their heritage, and we are supposed to preserve these heritage mills as they provide us an IQ that how our ancestors used to have their diet and other eatables for them. You see, several people earn their livelihood by running these traditional heritage mills, and these can be again the source of livelihood for young generation if we continue to use them, because they are low cost mills where we don't use any gadgets, any power is not being used. So these mills are run on water which is readily available in our stream, so they can become the source of livelihood for the young generation. And previously we have seen that several people during the lockdown or during the other shutdowns in the Kashmir Valley, you know, the strife-trodden region, people can earn livelihood if we preserve them and for future generation. And if we see the other countries, they preserve their heritage and which provide eyesight about our past, that how we use our livelihood, how we used to earn our livelihood, and how our ancestors strike hard to get their livelihood and sustain their families. These mills are located in a very beautiful villages of Narvaw. If you see the topography of the Narvaw, these can be preserved as a tourism, heritage tourism, where people from other countries or other states can come and see how Kashmiri people use these mills for their past. And we have several mills at different places like Baramulla, Madura, and different villages of Narvaw and Sheri. So you see, these mills are very rich in heritage potential, so we can use them for tourism heritage.
Severe rainfall and harsh snowfall in winters tend to decrease the water flow to these water mills. As the stream gets choked off, that affects its working. The people working these mills apply indigenous knowledge and techniques of the culture that has been orally passed down from generation to generation to make these mills functional. It plays a crucial role in monetary benefits and social development among the people living in this mountainous region of Kashmir. Most preferably, these mills are located on the banks of perennial stream Mundri Nala in Narvaw Valley, and this stream, which is locally called as Mundri Nala, dissects Narvaw Valley into two hollows unequally. Khursheed Ahmad, a miller from Narvaw, is associated with this traditional work since long. His forefathers were running this mill, and now it's his turn. A local customer has brought his fresh corn for grinding to his mill. Firstly, Khursheed will weigh the corn in the measuring scale, then he will pour it in the mouth of the mill. There are more than 10 mills running on the stream's Mundri Nala, most probably a few are functional among them. Rural people in the Kashmir Valley locally call these water mills gruts, and in the western country it's called as water mill.
Water flower mill, it uses mechanical energy to drive the turbine, I would say, or we would say its wheel. So what happens, first a water stream is directed towards the mill, and it's necessary that the water should be at the level of almost 6-7 feet higher than the turbine. Okay, so when that water is directed towards the wheel, its kinetic energy gets converted into the mechanical energy when it strikes the blades and makes the blades move, blades of the wheel move. When the wheel moves, an axle is connected to it, which is connected to the rolling stone. There are two stones horizontally placed. The lower one is fixed, but the upper one moves with the turbine that actually does all the work of grinding. The grains are crushed between these two wheels. So the texture of the flour depends upon the height of two wheels. When the flour accumulates between these two wheels, it's forced off and collected into sacks. So this water mill, it was used in the ancient times. It was a very important machinery, but now due to the widespread availability of electrical energy, the idea of water flower mill has become obsolete. The rotation of a wheel by water is precursor for the modern hydroelectric power generation. This environmental friendly technology dates back to the ancient Greek times that is now dying a slow death.
grinding stones are made by the artisans and the miller pays for it. The lower stone is kept stationary and the rotating stone on the upper side grinds the seeds and make it flour. This traditional way of flour grinding still acts as the source of family livelihood, as flour made out of the maize and rice is a staple food in this mountainous valley.
Now, Hurricane of Yaltrama, and get precious search is a bundle of turbine as a turbine, and the precious search parent, and get parents search pat ferrati is a great bonachas. And get precious search parent. Then the Cassati, Yimmoshi was I, Yatmas, Maka, Tomalasa, Katas, Kanakasna, Trauma Jetmas, it comes in a Pansa capacity. Pansa sheer kiloton, she has my second ratings. And but you see, you. This is a toss like a famous subject like a toss like such a vibration. It's a war, it fall down yet under the alien. That's all. I just bonus it's a aquina. It's a chipcon, one with chipcon, a message piece of chicken will never. It can't be heard. It's a demon garish coming. It's a liver, same of liver type. As I it's my liver come, garish come down. A press can search it food water. It's a great chance. It's a tears pagan. A down girl such a slow pagan. Issue. It's a thumb to a thumb. Thumb to image come dema. A press can search. The press can search it food water. The press can search it what a food. How do you mamuli what a food? And such a speed but on graders. The Yaltran say down girl such a speed down as I make. Now, Miss Khursheed Ahmad now. As you see, gradation is M side there's a bonus is for the water. Bulky M side look in the for the water, cause get loud downs under as very muscular looking. Kate Tomalas, Makayas, Kanaka, some Chaka piece it, a boss hacken and Chaka piece the arms on. M side there's a very for the Astima. I said, this look in the for the water. M side. I says, get logbuggers, Atmos, Yashes, Mullis, Budbosses, better as Yashi, or Kana Chalai. I says, more than a Bob Sabos, comes to come hot very broad, Timus Bob Sab, I see Karkana, Albata Bush comes to come Saji what? I says, gay log, no, Bidigos, Medga Dahuri Asadi. I says, very afraid himself. Himself said, look in the further what I'm. Albata, I'm worried. This was Yim Bramus Vaktasmas. Misal ke तौर पर नबी अकरम सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम दौर अंदर है तम अतग्रड तम अत चलान यमो सदी फल पीसने यमो रिजिक तैयार चोट तैयार गसान सह गरन मज हर अकिस गरस मज अलबत् यह आज यह हर वारियान जायन तो सह हर अकिस गरस मज कुन कुन जाय अच्छा बेस अत मज ब्या फायदा अत इलेक्ट्रिसिटी खर्च कह खर्च अत पे आब बसान आब के जरिए चलान अत यह पोल्यूशन फ्री यह आब पे बसान बन बी वापस गसान कह आब जाय गसान अत आब अमे फिल्टर गसान आब साफे अमे गसान बिल्कुल पोल्यूशन फ्री खास कर सेहत खतर ओट चोट यह सेहत कर असल यह पावरस पे गसान तैयार कि यह गसान आबस पे तैयार सह बड़ मफीद आयस मज मतलब वुचने आमुत कि यह बड़ सेहत खतर असल अस दूर दूर पे अमिस डिमांड डिस्ट्रिक्ट बारामुला मज बह रोजन वोल डिस्ट्रिक्टस मज जायन पे फोन कि अमिक रटुक ओट गोस क्या यह सेहत खतर ठीक बी कह मिलावट सह बिल्कुल प्योर आसान सेहत खतर मुजिर कह मीठ तो मुदर अमिस चोट आसान
The open channel is digged by the owner of the flour mill. Since generations they are doing this work proudly. To stop the unwanted grass, half-decomposed wooden twigs and dead leaves fallen from the branch of the trees on the flowing water in the artificial canal, and iron sieve is used. Since decades, these mills are locally used for grinding different cereals and grains, especially maize, for the household consumption by using energy of flowing water.
जहाँ हम इलाके नारा की बात करते हैं, एक बहुत खूबसूरत एरिया है जो बिल्कुल खूबसूरत जंगलों से बिल्कुल ये इसके आसपास जंगल है और बीच में एक खूबसूरत इलाका है जहाँ की यहाँ हमारे पुराने ज़माने में कुछ चक्कियाँ थी जहाँ हम आटा पिसा करते थे और वो बहुत मीठा टेस्टी हुआ करता था। लेकिन अगर इन चक्कियाँ जो पुराने आटे की चक्कियाँ उनको फिर बहाल किया जाए तो इससे यहाँ की खूबसूरत वापस आएगी और लोगों में फिर वो अपना वो जो रहन सहन का जो तरीका था वो फिर बहाल हो जाए तो इससे हमारा बहुत फ़ायदा होगा। तो इसके अलावा जो यहाँ पर जो इसके जहाँ जिस नाले पर जो माउंटेन नाला हम कहते हैं इस पर ये चक्कियाँ चलती है, अगर ये बहाल किए जाए उनका भी अगर प्रिजर्व किया जाए तो उसमें भी हमें फ़ायदा हमारे इलाके के लोगों को मिलेगा। अगर ये आटे की चक्कियाँ फिर बहाल की जाए तो इससे यहाँ का टूरिज्म डेवलप हो जाएगा, यहाँ बढ़ जाएगा टूरिज्म और इसके साथ लोगों को यहाँ रोज़गार भी मिलेगा।
Water flowing from the stream Mundri Nala throughout the year is used by the people in the locality for irrigation and operating their traditional water mills for grinding the seasonal harvest. The unwilling attitude of the rural youth to adopt the water mills, farming and livestock rearing did not make any differences to Khursheed Ahmad.